Minjae Park had 3 rules for surviving university, and then Kang Seonwoo broke all of them in one swoop. Now he's trapped in a secret arrangement that's equal parts romance, panic, and public humiliation. Subscribe, like, and comment if you're ready to watch Minjae's life implode spectacularly. Minjae Park had 3 rules for surviving university. 1. Avoid group projects. 2. Avoid eye contact with pretty boys. 3. Most importantly, avoid Kang Seonwoo like he was a limited edition virus. Because Seonwoo, tall, broad-shouldered, stupidly handsome, and blessed with a jawline sharp enough to slice a cucumber, was the kind of boy who caused trouble simply by breathing. People swooned. Professors forgave him for everything, including possibly arson. The school club presidents united like Avengers just to recruit him. Minjae? He just wanted to finish his business degree and go home to his cat. But fate was a bored drama writer, because the moment Minjae decided to avoid Seonwoo forever, that was exactly when Seonwoo grabbed his wrist behind the library and said in a low voice, "Be my companion." Minjae blinked. Companion? Like dog? Seonwoo shut his eyes. No, Minjae. Not like a dog. Then like a class tutor? Minjae tried. No. Emotional support human? Close enough, Seonwoo muttered, dragging a hand through his hair. They stood there in the library's deserted back hallway, where dust motes floated like confetti celebrating Minjae's impending downfall. Seonwoo looked at Minjae with an intensity that made him instinctively suck in his stomach. You don't have to overthink it, Seonwoo continued. Just be with me. In private. When I need you. Minjae blinked once. Twice. 3 times. Then. You mean like a secret arrangement? He whispered the word secret like it was contraband. Seonwoo nodded. Minjae, unfortunately, had a weakness for money and pretty faces. And Seonwoo happened to possess both in dangerous quantities. So before he could talk himself out of it, Minjae said, "Okay." And that was how the arrangement of doom began. 3 weeks later, Minjae was officially in hell. Not hell like burning forever. No, this was a slow burn, which was worse. Because Seonwoo kept finding new ways to destroy Minjae's sanity. Their meetings were supposed to be discreet. Hidden. Emotional support, but with benefits of the lean too close and whisper sinful things kind. And Minjae was handling it fine. If fine meant dying inside every 40 seconds. Take last night for example. They'd met in Seonwoo's car behind the gym. Minjae was reviewing his accounting notes. Seonwoo was reviewing Minjae's neck. You smell good, Seonwoo whispered. It's detergent, Minjae squeaked. My favorite scent. Then Seonwoo kissed him like he was tasting dessert. Minjae, who was absolutely not dessert, melted anyway. It was embarrassing. But again, everything was supposed to be secret. Which was why Minjae's soul left his body when Seonwoo grabbed him in the hallway in broad daylight the next morning. Minjae, Seonwoo said, breathless like he'd run here. Minjae glanced around. Students everywhere. Gossips lurking. His heart committed seppuku. What are you doing? Minjae hissed. Talking to you. In public. Yes. Are you insane? Probably. Seonwoo stepped closer. Too close. Dangerously close. His voice dropped to a low whisper Minjae felt more than heard. I missed you. Minjae's knees attempted to resign. He slapped a hand over Seonwoo's mouth. Shoo. Rule number 1. We don't talk like that where people can hear. Seonwoo smirked against his palm, smirked, and gently removed Minjae's hand. But Minjae wasn't ready for what happened next. Because Seonwoo's fingers slid down his wrist. His palm wrapped around Minjae's hand. And then, Seonwoo intertwined their fingers. In public. Minjae nearly screamed. Stop. Let go. You can't. We can't. People have eyes. I don't care, Seonwoo said calmly. Well, I do. I have social anxiety. There were students around them now. Whispering. Watching. Recording probably. Minjae's brain melted. Seonwoo, let go before my grave is dug. I don't want to hide you, Seonwoo said softly. Minjae froze. His breath hitched. His heartbeat turned into a drumline. What? But before Seonwoo could answer, footsteps approached. It was Daeho Choi, a classmate with a general aura of failed villain number 3. He raised an eyebrow. Wow. Didn't expect this from Kang Seonwoo. Minjae panicked so hard he forgot how to blink. Seonwoo didn't even flinch. Mind your business. Oh, I will. Right after I tell everyone. Daeho, Seonwoo warned, voice low, don't start something you can't finish. Daeho smirked. Too late. Minjae wanted to evaporate. When Daeho walked away with wicked intention in every step, Seonwoo turned back to Minjae. And then, with absolutely no mercy, he leaned down and kissed Minji's forehead. In public. In front of witnesses. Minji's soul ascended. What was that? Minjae squeaked. A kiss. In public. Yes. You'll get us killed? Seonwoo's gaze softened, dangerously warm. Then I'll die happy. Minjae stared at him, speechless, brain short-circuiting. This wasn't part of the arrangement. This wasn't secrecy. This wasn't casual. This was... Are you trying to expose me? Minjae whispered. Seonwoo's lips curled. No. I'm trying to claim you. Minji's entire nervous system malfunctioned. Seonwoo stepped back slightly, voice dropping to a teasing purr. Meet me tonight. Same place. Minjae nodded automatically. And as Seonwoo walked away, students whispering behind him, Minjae clutched his chest. He wasn't sure if he was falling in love, or if Seonwoo Kang was simply ruining his life one deliciously reckless moment at a time. Minjae spent the entire afternoon hiding in a bathroom stall like a fugitive. He wasn't proud of it. He was also not coming out. Minjae, you've been in there for 40 minutes? Heron called from outside. Are you pooping out your soul? I'm fine. Minjae yelled back, voice echoing dramatically. You sound like you're being hunted. I am. The bathroom door swung open. Heron's footsteps approached. What happened now? Did someone find out you sleep in the library again? Did Seonwoo Kang breathe in your direction? Minjae whimpered. Silence. Then. Oh my God, Heron whispered. He did breathe in your direction. It was worse, Minjae cried. He held my hand. Pause. In public, he added weakly. Heron gasped like an auntie finding out her niece was pregnant. Minjae flung the stall door open. It's over for me. Daeho saw us. People saw us. There were phones. I probably have a fan club now. Or a hate club. Heron stared. So, is he your boyfriend now? No. Minjae slapped the air. He's my arrangement. Heron squinted like she was solving a murder. Minjae, sweetie. That boy does not want a secret arrangement. He wants you. Minjae groaned. Please stop saying that. My heart can't handle hope. But Heron wasn't listening, she was too busy screaming. He kissed your forehead? And you're in a bathroom stall? Wake up, King. Minjae covered her mouth. Shh. Someone might hear. Let them hear, she mumbled dramatically. Let the world know you're the main character. Minjae died a little. Later that night, Minjae arrived at the gym parking lot, clutching his backpack like a shield. Seonwoo's car was already there, sleek and black and rich. He climbed into the passenger seat, where Seonwoo sat wearing a hoodie that should have been illegal on someone this handsome. You came? Seonwoo said softly. Minjae glared. Of course I came. You told me to. That's not why, Seonwoo murmured. Minji's brain immediately began screaming. Don't get romantic, Minjae warned. My nervous system is fragile. Seonwoo smirked. You're cute when you panic. Minjae sputtered. I'm not panicking. I'm just pre-panicking. Seonwoo chuckled, leaning back like he had all the time in the world. So, about earlier? No, Minjae said immediately. Yes. No. Yes. Minjae covered his ears. La, I don't want to talk about it. Seonwoo gently took Minji's hands away from his ears. You're mine. Minji's heart performed a gymnastics routine. You can't say things like that in daylight. Minjae hissed. It causes emotional injury. Seonwoo tilted his head. Then I'll say it now. In the dark. Will it hurt less? No. Minjae squeaked. It'll hurt more. Seonwoo laughed, softly, warmly, like Minjae was something precious. Then he reached out, brushing a thumb over Minji's cheek. Minjae practically disintegrated. You don't have to hide, Seonwoo whispered. Minjae pushed his hand away before he melted entirely. I like hiding. I'm a professional hider. But I don't want to hide you. Minjae blinked. Why? Seonwoo gave him that devastating, soft-eyed look again. Because I want people to know you're important to me. Cue Minji's immediate shutdown. He slapped both cheeks to gain oxygen. Stop being sweet. It's messing up my defense system. You have a defense system? Seonwoo teased. Yes. And it's dying. The next morning was chaos. Minjae walked into campus. Students whispered, pointed, snickered, took pictures. Someone even played a dramatic K-drama soundtrack on their phone as he passed. Heron walked by his side like a bodyguard. Wow, you're trending. This is a nightmare, Minjae choked. I didn't ask to be the lead role in Scandal Boys, homosexual edition. Then Daeho appeared, arms crossed like a villain who still lived with his parents. Well, Daeho smirked. The secret's out. Minjae gasped. We were not a secret. Okay, maybe we were a secret, but still. Daeho shrugged. Don't worry. People already know everything. Minjae felt faint. Everything? Everything? Seonwoo appeared behind them like a celebrity entering a red carpet. Students whispered louder. Daeho sneered at him. So, planning to dump your little toy now that everyone knows? Seonwoo's smile vanished. He stepped forward, voice low and dangerous. Say that again. Daeho blinked, suddenly nervous. I mean, you don't get to talk about Minjae, Seonwoo said coldly. Not like that. Not ever. Minjae stared. Who is this protective lion and what did he do with my shady arrangement partner? Daeho backed away. Seonwoo turned to Minjae, expression softening immediately. You okay? No. Minjae screamed. I'm being bullied by attention. Seonwoo touched Minjae's chin, gently lifting it. Then let them watch. It's literally the problem that they're watching. Minjae wailed. Seonwoo smiled like Minjae was the sunrise. I like when they see you with me. Minjae's knees gave up. This is harassment, he whispered. Romantic harassment. Seonwoo leaned in, lips just inches away. Then I'll harass you gently. Stop. Too late. Seonwoo brushed a soft, slow kiss to Minjae's cheek. Right in front of everyone. The hallway erupted in gasps. Minjae exploded. Seonwoo. He covered his face, burning red, while Seonwoo laughed quietly and pulled him closer. This is only the beginning, Seonwoo murmured. Minjae whimpered. His life was no longer his own. And Seonwoo Kang was absolutely, undeniably, dangerously obsessed. Rumors spread through the university faster than Minjae spread panic. By noon, 3 different versions of the story were circulating. 1. Minjae seduced Seonwoo with black magic. 2. Seonwoo saved Minjae from a burning building and fell in love instantly. 3. They were married in a secret ceremony behind the cafeteria. Minjae wished all 3 were lies. Unfortunately, version number 3 had a surprisingly detailed fan art circulating the group chat. He slammed his head onto the cafeteria table. This is it. I'm socially dead. Bury me with my textbooks. Heron patted his back. If we bury you, can I have your hoodie collection? No. I'm being bullied enough already. Across the room, students filmed him like he was a baby panda. This is psychological warfare, Minjae whispered. Heron nodded sympathetically. At least you're a cute panda. Stop encouraging the chaos, Minjae pleaded. Then, like a whole Greek tragedy entering stage left, Seonwoo walked into the cafeteria. The room fell silent. Students parted like the Red Sea. Heron whispered, Oh, you're doomed. Seonwoo's gaze locked on Minjae instantly. Minjae felt it across the room like a taser. He marched over, pulled out a chair, sat way too close and said, You didn't answer my texts. Minjae whispered back, Because I didn't want to die. Seonwoo blinked. From what? You. Fame. Rumors. Public displays of forehead kissing. Seonwoo's lips twitched like he wanted to smile but was trying to be serious. Minjae, look at me. No. Look at me. No. Minjae. Minjae reluctantly lifted his head. Seonwoo's expression softened in a way that should be illegal. I'm sorry, it's overwhelming. Then he took Minjae's hand under the table. Minjae's soul left his body. He yanked his hand back like it touched lava. Stop it. Not here. We are in a public eatery. So. People are already drawing us getting married behind the cafeteria. I saw, Seonwoo said casually. I saved it. Minjae's jaw dropped. Why? I thought we looked cute. Stop making my heart do things. Seonwoo leaned closer. I like when it does things. Minjae whimpered, face buried in his hands. I'm calling the police. The next class was worse. As soon as Minjae entered the lecture hall, whispers rose like smoke. That's him. Seonwoo's guy. Are they dating? I heard Minjae is the top. No, Seonwoo looks like the top. Plot twist, they switch. Minjae dropped his bag and screamed internally. He slid into a seat as low as possible, hoping camouflage existed for humans. Then Daeho sauntered over like a villain on discount sale. Enjoying the attention? he sneered. No, Minjae said flatly. Well, you should. I mean, dating Seonwoo Kang? Must be nice. We're not dating. Daeho smirked. Sure you're not. Minjae clenched his fists. But before he could reply, the lecture hall door opened. Enter Seonwoo. He spotted Daeho towering over Minjae and his expression turned glacial. He walked over, dropped into the seat beside Minjae because of course he did, and said, "You're sitting too close to him." The entire room froze. Daeho raised an eyebrow. "You don't own him." Seonwoo's jaw tightened. "I don't need to own him. But you need to back off." Students gasped like they were watching a live K-drama. Daeho crossed his arms. "So what are you? His boyfriend?" Minjae almost screamed. Seonwoo stared Daeho straight in the eyes. "Not yet." The class exploded. Girls squealed. Someone fainted. A boy dropped his laptop. Haerin threw a pamphlet in the air like confetti. Minjae meanwhile died in slow motion. Minjae dragged Seonwoo into an empty staircase landing. "What is wrong with you?" Minjae yelled. Seonwoo blinked. "What?" "You said not yet, in front of 28 people. So? That implies future romantic involvement." "It's true." It was a rhetorical complaint. Minjae paced back and forth, pulling at his hair. "You're making everything worse. People think we're together. People think you're obsessed. People think we're a couple?" Seonwoo supplied. "No, stop saying it like it's normal." Seonwoo stepped closer, voice dropping. "Why is it so bad?" "Because I'm nothing special." Minjae exploded. "You're Kang Seonwoo. And I'm me. A guy who panics at stickers stuck to fruit." Seonwoo gently cupped Minjae's face. His voice turned soft, so soft Minjae nearly melted. "You're not nothing. You're everything I want." Minjae froze. Heart racing. Mind blank. Knees weak. Seonwoo didn't let go. "You think I wanted an arrangement because I was bored?" he whispered. "No. I wanted you. From the beginning." Minjae swallowed. "Then why the secret?" "Because I didn't know if you'd want to be seen with me." Minjae blinked. "Why wouldn't I? You're literally a Greek god." Seonwoo laughed softly. "Not to me. To me you're the one who's perfect." Minji's entire body shut down. That was when Haerin burst in. "Minjae, oh sorry. Am I interrupting a confession scene?" Minjae, "Yes." Seonwoo, "And oh. Haerin, beautiful, I'll leave you to it." She exited like a proud mother. Minjae covered his face. "This day is cursed." Seonwoo tilted his chin up again. "I want you," he said simply. "Public or not. Rumors or not." Minji's chest tightened. "Seonwoo, I don't know if I can handle being your secret anymore," Minjae whispered. "It hurts." Seonwoo's thumb brushed his cheek. "Then don't be a secret," he murmured. "Be mine." Minji's breath caught. His heart thumped wildly. Seonwoo leaned forward like he was about to kiss him. Minjae whispered, "This is insane." Seonwoo smiled. "So are you." Minjae felt himself falling hopelessly, dangerously, right before Seonwoo grabbed his hand and walked boldly into the hallway where everyone could see. The moment Seonwoo walked out of the stairwell holding Minji's hand, the university population collectively lost its mind. Gasp. Whispers. Someone dropped a bubble tea. Haerin screamed like she was watching a championship goal. Minjae, on the other hand, felt like a fainting goat. "Let go," he whispered. "No," Seonwoo said, fingers tightening. "People are staring." "Good. This is illegal." "It's not. It feels illegal." Seonwoo chuckled, brushing his thumb over Minji's knuckles like this was a casual stroll in the park and not a public execution of Minji's social stability. "Why are you doing this?" Minjae whispered, cheeks red enough to fry eggs on. Seonwoo stopped walking, turned to him, and said loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. "Because I want everyone to know you're important to me." Half the hallway screamed. The other half recorded. Minjae considered ascending into the ceiling like a ghost. "Stop saying romantic things in Dolby surround sound," Minjae begged. Seonwoo smiled. "Then stop being romantic to me." "I what?" "I'm not romantic. You blush every time I breathe near you. I have sensitive skin. You cling to me when I kiss you. I lose balance easily." Seonwoo leaned in, lowering his voice. "And you say my name like it's a confession." Minjae covered Seonwoo's mouth with both hands. Please, I have dignity." "Oh, who am I kidding? I have none, thanks to you." Seonwoo pulled his hands down gently. "Come with me." "Where are we going?" "To fix this." "Oh great." Public execution? Close, Seonwoo said, smirking. Public clarification. Minjae screamed internally. By the time they reached the quad, more than 100 students gathered, because apparently nobody had class, dignity, or self-control. Heron was waving like an air traffic controller. "Confess, you beautiful idiots," she yelled. Minjae wanted to crawl into the nearest trash bin. Seonwoo stepped in front of him and cleared his throat. The crowd quieted instantly. Minjae shook his head violently. No, 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 no. We're not making announcements." Seonwoo took his hand again. Minjae stopped breathing. Seonwoo spoke in a clear, steady voice that carried across the courtyard. "I know there are a lot of rumors. But I want to say this clearly, Minjae isn't a secret. And he was never just an arrangement." The crowd gasped. Someone yelled, "I knew it." Minjae whispered, "Please let lightning strike me." Seonwoo continued, "I like him. I've liked him for a long time. And I'm not going to hide that anymore." Every student screamed like they were paid actors. Minjae stood frozen, eyes wide, ears hot, heart collapsing into a glittery puddle. Seonwoo turned to him, voice soft now. "Minjae." "No," Minjae squeaked. "Yes," Seonwoo insisted. "No, don't talk to me in front of 1,000 people. There are barely 100. That's worse." Seonwoo stepped closer, their bodies almost touching. "I want to ask you something." Minjae stared at him, horrified. "No, don't ask anything. Especially not something romantic. I'll combust." Seonwoo ignored him. "Will you be with me? Not in secret. Not as an arrangement. With me." Minji's brain crashed like an outdated computer. I what? Why are you doing this?" Minjae whispered. Seonwoo looked at him like he was the only person on earth. "Because hiding you hurt you. And I won't do that again." Minji's eyes widened. Everything hit him at once. The rumors, the panic, the forehead kiss, the hand holding, the protectiveness. The way Seonwoo looked at him like he was more than enough. Minjae felt his chest tighten, then soften, then turn to warm soup. "I can't believe you're doing this," he whispered. Seonwoo smiled. "Is that a no?" "No. I mean," Minjae threw his hands in the air. "This is the most embarrassing day of my life." "Is it a yes?" Seonwoo asked, stepping closer. Well, maybe, kind of." Seonwoo leaned down, lips brushing Minji's ear. "Say it." Minji's knees buckled. "Yes," he whispered. "Yes, okay?" "Yes." The crowd erupted like fireworks. Heron screamed, "Finally!" Seonwoo pulled Minjae into a hug. Tight, warm, grounding. Minjae buried his face in Seonwoo's chest to hide his embarrassment and emotions. "You exposed me," Minjae muttered. Seonwoo stroked his hair. "To the truth. And to rumors," Minjae added. "True. And to chaos. Also true. And to pleasure," Minjae mumbled before he realized what he said. Seonwoo froze. Slowly leaned back. "What did you just say?" Minjae slapped a hand over his own mouth. "Nothing. I said nothing." Seonwoo smirked, leaning close. "So you admit you enjoy it?" "I plead the fifth." Seonwoo whispered against his ear, "Then let me give you more." Minji's soul left his body, got on a plane, and moved overseas. Later alone. They ended up sitting under a tree on the far end of campus, away from the mob of students celebrating their new relationship like it was a national holiday. Minjae sat cross-legged, hugging his knees. "My reputation is gone. You can have mine," Seonwoo said. "That's not how reputations work." "Then take my heart." "Stop saying things like that." Seonwoo laughed softly and slipped an arm around Minji's shoulders. "Relax. You're safe now." Minjae leaned into him just a little. "Was I really important enough for all that?" he whispered. Seonwoo kissed the top of his head. "You're important enough for anything." Minji's heart turned into warm jelly. "You're scary," Minjae muttered. "You like it." Minjae didn't respond. Because it was true. Seonwoo held him closer. And for the first time since their secret began, Minjae didn't feel hidden. He felt chosen. Exposed. And maybe, just maybe, ready for everything Seonwoo promised. Even the pleasure. Especially the pleasure.